Hello, everyone. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and are done wrong. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Officer Washington with the St. Louis County Police Department's Public Information Office. This critical incident briefing is intended to provide you with information about an officer-involved shooting that occurred on December 7th, 2022 at 13857 Riverport Drive in the city of Maryland Heights, Missouri. As part of our commitment to transparency, we will show you relevant video footage, evidence, and the law enforcement response to this incident. Because this investigation is still active, our goal is to provide you with a better understanding of what occurred based on what we know up to this point. The St. Louis County Police Department conducts thorough use of force investigations, which typically require detectives to interview multiple witnesses, view numerous hours of video footage, and analyze a significant amount of forensic evidence. This portrayal is not intended to draw any conclusions about whether the officers involved acted consistent with their department's policies and the law until all the facts are known and the investigation is finalized. Investigations involving uses of force could take several months to complete. A word of caution. The images you're about to see may be disturbing and you may hear strong or coarse language. When a police officer uses force to arrest a suspect or to defend themselves or innocent victims against an attack, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
He's a good public speaker.
I'm Sergeant Tracy Panis, Public Information Office Supervisor. On Wednesday, December 7th, 2022, the St. Louis County Police Bureau of Crimes Against Persons was requested by the Maryland Heights Police Department to conduct an investigation into an officer-involved shooting that occurred in the city of Maryland Heights, leaving one suspect deceased. At approximately 2:02 p.m., detectives from the Maryland Heights Police Department were searching for a suspect identified as Mark Davenport, wanted in connection with several criminal incidents in various area jurisdictions. Detectives were also searching for a white Chevrolet Silverado that had been spray painted black. The search continued for about 2 hours when a tip led detectives to an area hotel in the 13,700 block of Riverport Drive. Mr. Davenport's vehicle was located in that same area. The tip indicated Mr. Davenport made statements that he would not go back to jail. At approximately 4:18 p.m., detectives wearing vests identifying them as police officers observed Mr. Davenport exit a business in the 13,800 block of Riverport Drive. As Mr. Davenport walked to the parking lot, he was approached by detectives and given verbal commands in an attempt to take him into custody. Mr. Davenport refused to comply with the commands. He instead charged at the detectives with an edged weapon in his hand while stating that detectives would have to shoot him. At 4:19 p.m., one detective fired his department-issued firearm, striking Mr. Davenport. Officers immediately rendered aid, and Mr. Davenport was transported to an area hospital. You are about to hear relevant police radio traffic of the Maryland Heights police officers' response to the incident just described.
Attention car, St. Charles County is behind a white Chevy Silverado. It's been painted black, occupied by a Mark David Davenport, white male. The left front tire is down. It's on a rim. He's armed and dangerous. Numerous felony charges. I have not ran him. Illinois plate 140914, 140914. He's from 70 from the Blanchette. They are no longer in pursuit. This vehicle fled from St. Louis City earlier today. Information from St. Charles County, Fort Pinocchio.
6248. Can you read vehicle description again, please?
62. The white Chevy Silverado. It's been painted black. Illinois 140914. 140914.
10-4, area 7141.
10-4, he's armed and dangerous, resisting arrest, felony out of Overland, St. Louis City, felony out of U City, St. Louis County, some other city charges, burglary second, felony.
248, unclear.
8209 unclear as well.
Unit stabilized. The city officer called back, stated that he was in the area of. He does have a knife on him, and he also stated that if he was confronted by police, he would kill himself.
8209 clear. 5250.
5250.
I have the truck. I can't see if it's occupied right now. We're behind the new construction that's going on right at Riverport North and Riverport Lane. Between that building and just 3251 Riverport Lane. 343, I'm listening.
250 has the truck, Riverport North, Riverport Lane, 3251, Riverport Lane, by 1443. Which car's with him? 343.
Vehicles unoccupied. 5250.
5250.
I'm with one of the construction workers. His last direction of travel would be westbound between the buildings of and these buildings on Riverport South. But that's the last direction we have. So he could have lined his way through these buildings. We don't know where he's at right now.
How far westbound there? Riverport South.
5250.
5250.
Am I clear to give you the plate on this truck?
How far ahead?
Illinois v. Boston, 140-1914. 140-1914, Illinois v. Boston.
1449. Yeah, it's just been 68 information from St. Charles County. He is armed with razor blades. They have an officer out for the vehicle.
222 on the west side of walking south with a black backpack. He's in blue jeans.
Ground deployed.
Sure. Down to 4618.
247, 222. 238 Hope Track. We need more units here right now.
24 officer cars. Front entrance.
238 shots fired. Subject down.
The shots have been fired. Subject down. 1819.
238, we need a bus. J1. 247.
247.
All right, suspect's down. Gunshot wound. Still breathing. We need an ambulance. J1.
Now you will see relevant dash camera video footage from the Maryland Heights Police Department, as well as security footage from an area business related to this incident. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
That security camera footage sucks. So it almost seems like just by happenstance, they roll up at the same time this dude was walking out. So if this dude would have just stayed his ass inside that building, they probably would have drove by and kept on going and never would have come into contact with him. I like how they say in an unmarked vehicle, but like this is a commonly used police vehicle. It might not have any markings on it, but damn it, it's a popular vehicle. That's like kind of like back in the day, like Crown Vics. Like the only people who fucking drove Crown Vics was the police and middle-aged to old people. Like no one young drove a Crown Vic. It was fucking police agencies and middle-aged to old people who drove Crown Vics. And so when they say, oh, we got an unmarked car and it's a Crown Vic's, like, okay, it might not have any markings on it, but everybody knows that's a fucking police car.
Despite the work of first responders and medical staff, Mr. Mark Davenport, age 48, of the 400 block of Lanning Lane in Rolla, Missouri, later died of his injuries at an area hospital. An edged weapon attributed to Mr. Davenport was located near him on the scene. In total, 1 shot was fired by law enforcement. The Maryland Heights police officer involved in this incident is 46 years of age with 14 years of law enforcement experience. No officers were injured in this incident.
The St. Louis County Police Department has all of its non-sensitive policies and procedures available.
Okay. So there's not much to see with this this video because the detectives do not have body cameras. And we'll pause it right here. So they typically don't wear those vests all the time. All right. And so their normal attire, I can understand, why they wouldn't have a body camera, right? But if you're going to be out in the field, in my opinion, and you could be involved in doing stuff like this, a body camera should be worn. And issued. A body camera should be issued to these officers. And they can figure out how they want to manage, dealing with it. Now, so backing this up a little bit. So some agencies, the officers will have individual body cameras. Like it's assigned to them. It's always going to be with them. There's some agencies that are so large, all the body cameras kind of stay there at the station. And they have like a big old charging bank or the banks for the body cams, and they can just check one out at beginning of shift, and then end of shift they dock it, upload it, clear it, and let it charge. I don't know anything about this agency, how they do the stuff, but let's say it's small enough for them to issue out a camera. So all your patrol people are going to have cameras issued to them because they're getting out there and they're making contact with people on a more regular basis. And they're going to have that camera assigned to them. It's theirs to manage and keep up with. The detectives, although they do go out and make contact with people, it's more or less like after the fact kind of stuff. Like they will deal with more of the victims, getting interviews done and processing evidence, stuff like that. Yes, they do come into contact with bad guys. But they will usually have uniformed officers come along with them when they go do arrests and stuff like that. And so agencies, because these cameras cost a certain amount, they'll usually just give them to patrol people, and they won't bother giving them to the Criminal Investigation Division for those simple facts that patrol's just out doing more contacts a day than detectives are. I think that's kind of a goofy outlook. I think that if the detective is going to be given a gun and is going to have the expectation to go out in public and talking to people and dealing with people, then they should also have a body camera as well. For an incident like this, where they're out assisting and looking for a wanted person, they have the increased likelihood of getting involved in an incident. So therefore, that dictates the need for a body camera to be worn. Body cameras can help exonerate you, and they can help speed along the investigative process. And when it comes to transparency purposes with the public, it helps the public see what exactly was going on. And because there is no body camera here, anyone can make stuff up. Even when there is body cameras there and it shows stuff going on, the anti-police crowd people will still make shit up. They'll still say, they executed him, execution style. They'll make all kinds of shit up. even when there's body cam showing the dude, had a gun, had a knife, whatever, was attacking an officer, you get it. But people who view that stuff, they can look at it and then be like, well, what the hell are these idiots talking about? There ain't nothing wrong here. Like, he's justified. But when there is no camera there, nothing recording what's going on, and then these yahoos are making shit up, well, then there's those some people who would be on the fence. They may be looking at it like, oh yeah, something bad did go on here. Oh yeah. When if there was camera footage available, those kind of people would be like, oh yeah, no, they're completely justified. So that's one glaring issue here is the lack of body cams. The other issue that I have is the lack of a rifle being out. They know that they're out looking for an armed person, a person who is a danger to society, who has ran from police, and has multiple felony convictions. One of them should have a rifle. That car that is assigned to them should have a rifle assigned to it. Now, traditional patrol cars, patrol officers, will likely have a patrol rifle or shotgun issued to them. Some places the detectives have that stuff issued as well. Some places not. This particular place, I don't know. But I do believe that if the detectives are going to be going out into the public and getting involved in some of the same stuff that patrol officers find themselves getting involved in, they too should have rifles given to them. It is a safety issue otherwise. And I could fully support if something had happened and an officer got seriously injured or killed, their family suing the agency because that agency was so stupid and refused to issue the detectives a rifle for their car. Like, I could get behind that kind of lawsuit. I would be fully supportive of that. But some administrators in law enforcement, they don't always have a good head on their shoulder, and they don't always think realistically, I guess you could say. And so you will have detectives who the only thing they got is a pistol. Their car doesn't even have a rifle or shotgun in it. That's it. Nothing else in there. They might have some evidence collection stuff, but that's it. No long guns. And it should not be like that. Now, when we see all these other people start running around and showing up, I don't know exactly, where they were at. We see a vehicle pull up, and then we see some more people running up. These appear to be detectives as well. See another patrol-looking person who was walking around right here. You don't see a rifle out, but it doesn't mean that he didn't have one prepared and ready to use, or had it out, but got up here, saw that it wasn't needed, and then didn't get it out. Looking for, wanted people like this, rifles need to be out. It is a high-risk type of call. The person has already shown a propensity for committing crimes, obviously, right? Like, they don't have that that throttle, so to speak. They don't have that good impulse control. They're out there committing crimes. They're running from the police. He's armed. He's made threatening statements. It's a high-risk type of incident where they're looking for a wanted fugitive. And because it's a high risk, that dictates that long guns come out. Because that increases, just the nature of this kind of call increases the possibility of a deadly force encounter occurring. Whether the person's armed with a gun or a knife, they could attack at any moment. And because it is a high-risk call like that, you need the long gun, because that's the best tool to bring to a deadly force encounter. If you know you're going to a deadly force encounter, bring a rifle. and bring your friends with rifles. Rifles dominate. They are far more superior than a pistol. Pistols kind of suck. Now, yeah, this officer fired one round and one round did it, right? That doesn't always happen. Sometimes officers have to fire multiple rounds to achieve the desired effect, to incapacitate the threat. There's a huge difference in terminal ballistics when it comes to rifle and pistol. All pistol calibers suck. I don't care what you got, all pistols suck. Rifles? Rifles will dominate. When you look at people who've been shot and are still walking around today, there's been a crap ton of people who've been shot with pistol and they're still walking around today. There's been people who've been shot multiple times with a pistol and they're still walking around today. There's not that many people who are walking around who've been shot by rifle. There's some, but there's not that many. So it's just the ability to very rapidly stop the threat with a rifle is what you want. You want that rapid incapacitation. The faster you can stop the threat, the better. And a rifle does it good compared to a pistol. Milwaukee. So it does not make sense that this would be serrated. So it looks like this is just an old blade that's in here that's been kind of chipped. But even though it's, you know, still a crappy blade, this will still kill a person. Just going across your throat, you're dead. Cut a person enough times, they can bleed out. And if not, it's still going to cause some serious physical injuries and or disfigurements for the rest of their life. Imagine having this thing slashed across your face. One, if it hits the eye, your eye is gone. But even, you know, if it don't hit that, you know, still a slash across the face, you're going to have a scar. A disfiguring scar for the rest of your life. Like Joker.
Located near him on the scene.
So we see a pair of handcuffs there. So I'd imagine that at some point they got him and they handcuffed him, or they were planning on cuffing him and the handcuffs just laid on the ground. I'd say probably most likely what has happened is they went ahead and cuffed him up, and then as they're rendering medical aid and EMS gets there, they make the decision to remove the cuffs, and the cuffs just end up laying there. Looks like the guy's phone is there, and this looks like some caramel M&Ms maybe. I don't know. Not much else to say about this video. There's not a whole lot to see, but there's still just a little bit enough to make some comments on. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.